Welcome Sec 2 Express. We are going to continue on our Notes 10A example 4 and example 5. Before I continue on that, let's do some recap on direct proportion. So what is direct proportion? Direct proportion is the formula y equals to k times x, where k is a constant. Okay, when y increases, x will increase as well. That is direct proportion. When y decrease, x also decrease. Alright, so this is the formula that you got to remember and you got to know it. Let's take a look at example number 4. This is a problem sum with regards to direct proportion. Now example 4 says the cost of a gem, C dollars, is directly proportional to the square of its mass m gram. So immediately we can write in the equation. C is directly proportional to the square of m, which means I get C equals to km square. Alright, same. If a gem of mass 10 grams, so this 10 grams is the mass, which is m, costs $250, which is C. So I just need to substitute in. So $250 equals to k times m is 10 square. Then you work out the value of k times 100. So k is 2.5. Once you get the value of k, put the k back into the original equation, and there you go. You get c equals to 2.5 m square. That is the equation connecting C and M. Alright, so that's part A. Part B asks for the cost of a gem with mass 24 grams. Mass 24 grams, M is 24, so I just need to sub 24 into M, like this. So if you press your calculator, 2.5 times 24 square, you get 1440. So the cost of the gem is 1,440. That's all to example 4. Very simple. Let's take a look at example number 5. Example number 5 is a little bit more difficult. But before I carry on with example number 5, I want to teach you a concept first. Let's say I have 2 times 3 square. Now 2 times 3 square, if you press your calculator, you should get the value 18. Because 9 times 2 is 18. Now, so this is the same as y equals to kx square, where k is a constant. Just want you to do some observation. Now, of course, k is constant, k will remain the same too. What if I increase my x by 2 times? Okay, which means this becomes 6 square. If you press your calculator, 2 times 6 square is actually 72. And how does 18 increase to 72 if I times 2 here? 18, if you take 72 divided by 18, you will get 4, which is actually times 2 square. You realize? So if let's say when x increase by 2, y will increase by 2 square. You'll be asking where the square comes from. It's because of this square over here. Okay, don't believe me? Let's try another number. Instead of times 2, I'm going to change the number. I'm going to times 3. Now 3 times 3 is 9. We are talking about the value of x. 3 times 3 is 9, so I'm going to substitute 9 here. 9 square times 2 is 162. 162, if you divide by 18, you're going to get 9, which is actually, here is just multiplied by 9. But we know 9 is 3 square. Alright, so basically, whatever I multiply here, which means whatever if I multiply here, if I multiply by a, this becomes 3a. Then here I must multiply by a square to get 18a square. Let's try this again. If let's say I change this number to 2. 2 squared times 2 is 8. Alright, so if I were to even multiply by half, that means I decrease the value of x by, that means I decrease the value of x, I multiply by half, I get 1. Then if you realize 2 times 1 square, I will get 2. And if you realize 8 times half square will give you 2. So you see, if I multiply by half, here I got to multiply by half square to get the correct value. That is the point that I'm trying to make here. Which means if I have y equals to kx square, if my x is doubled, my y would be multiplied by 2 square. My y would increase by 4 times. If my x increased by 3 times, my y would increase by 9 times. Concept again. Y equals to kx cubed. If my x increased by 2 times, my y would increase by 2 times cube. Where the cubes come from? Here. Okay, so this is a very intricate scale. Okay, it works for fraction. It works for fraction as well. So if let's say I have y equals to kx square and my x is halved, my y would not be halved but be half square, would be a quarter of it. So this is the concept that you need to know for this question number 5. Let's read the question. Now it says y is directly proportional to x squared, so y equals to k times x squared. Okay, leave this alone first. It is known that y equals to 10 for a particular value of x. You can leave it first. Now read the next part. It says find the value of y when this value of x is halved. This value of x is halved, which means this value of x is halved. If this value of x is half, like what I taught you just now, this value of y would then be multiplied by half square. Correct? So then now I can put in the values. It is known that y equals to 10. So therefore, very simple, therefore, the value of y is actually 10 multiplied by half square. Because I halve the value of x, the resultant of y will be multiplied by half square. So it's y equals to 10 times half square. 10 times half square. You get 2.5. Finish. Okay, this question, the working is very short, but you must demonstrate understanding of this concept. Alright, so that's all for example 5. Now, once you're done, you need to do homework. Question number 3. Just one question. Once you're done, take photo and post it on OneNote. That's all I have for you today. Today is just a 1 period 35-minute lesson.